What's up, everybody? This is Bailey from Exotec.
This is Chris from Exotec.
Yeah, and today we're doing a tutorial video on how to make basically just a lead in Thor for Reason. And yeah, it's gonna be in the super saw style, just like a nice lead synth. And so yeah, watch the video and hopefully you'll be making tracks like Exotec eventually. Just kidding, we're not really that cocky, but yeah. The start melody we're going to be using today is this. And so on and so forth, right? Yeah, so when I start making my synths for a super saw, I'll add 3 multi-oscillators, detune them each by about 36 to 40. Alright, and I always like to change the octaves of some of the oscillators to make the synth a little more thick. So I'm going to take the octave of oscillators 2 and 3 and bring that down 1. Also, I have to make sure I have all 3 selected. Alright, so now that all 3 oscillators are selected and currently running through our low pass ladder filter, we have to make sure that our frequency is all the way up, our resonance is just under half, our velocity and envelope are all the way down, and the filter type is set to 24 type 1. The next step is to make sure we have our amp envelope all the way up, the sustain of the amp envelope that is, to make sure we can keep a constant note. Like that. Alright, now we're going to move to our LFO. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select LFO 1 3 times, and I'm going to route it to oscillator 1's pitch, oscillator 2's pitch, oscillator 3's pitch. Bring that up to around 25, then detune that one negative 25, then bring the third oscillator to positive 25 again. If you go up to the rate, you'll notice that it's kind of slow. If you were to hit a key, it would sound like this. Not exactly desirable. So if we hit the note again, we can raise the rate to something that sounds better. And I don't really think a sine shape for the LFO is really the best choice, so I'm going to change it to a saw, which sounds really nice. If we come back down to our melody and play it, it'll start taking the shape of the finished product. Now I'm going to add a delay. And I'm going to snap the delay to the tempo of the song, and it's really up to you what the delay time is, but I'm going to bring it to 3/16. Make sure my dry wet is set just around 1/4 of the way. And I'm not all that happy with the actual sound, so I'm going to go ahead and change the oscillator 2 to a pulse wave to add a little bit more mid to the synth. I'm also going to make sure that I balance out oscillator 1 with the harsher pulse wave by bringing this down a bit. Alright, now that we have balanced our oscillator levels, the synth should sound like this. Our last step in making the synth is going to be adding a state variable filter and changing the type of filter to a high pass, bringing that down to about 1/4 to cut the lows. If you were to hit a low note, you don't want to have it too boomy because it might start clashing with your actual bass of your track. Alright, so here's the whole synth, and after a few effects, here's the final result. What we really would like to show you is if you were to put this synth into a song, maybe you put a bass behind it, a drum beat behind it, some secondary synths, you can get something that sounds like this.